Welcome back to Local Web Expert. Today we're speaking with Coral and Brendan from Alchemy Digital Co. They're based in Mermaid Beach in Queensland, and they bring a really interesting blend of the analytical precision and storytelling to craft websites that don't just look great but also deliver really interesting results. We'll explore how they have the scientific background of marrying data with a more creative design aspect to it in supporting those local businesses and building digital ecosystems that truly work together. So let's jump in and get started with it. Nice to have you here, Brendan and Coral.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, nice to see you.
So I'm really interested to find out, how did Alchemy Digital actually start?
Oh, right. Do you want to tell this one or?
Well, we learned about websites and how they all work through getting involved with digital investing, so buying digital online businesses. And then we thought, well, Brendan's got a background in video marketing and he was a wedding videographer for 10 years, so he's really good with storytelling and branding. And then my background's in science, so like very much a quantitative analysis type of science. So we thought, why don't we combine all our skills together and then use this to help local businesses improve their online presence and get found online, basically. And the name Alchemy comes literally from that blend of science and art.
I was wondering, it's an interesting name for a digital agency. So those local businesses, they're the ones that are centered around Mermaid Beach, or you're more broadly into the Gold Coast?
Predominantly at the moment, mostly Gold Coast based businesses, but we have got some clients interstate. So we've got a client in Adelaide, another one in Melbourne as well. So yeah, we have some outside of the Gold Coast as well.
Yeah, and you really work all over. Is there a particular niche or like a type of client that you typically work with, maybe in size or scale?
So at the moment, we're predominantly working with small service-based businesses, companies that have like teams up to about 10 people. And we've been working with a variety of businesses from people that are just starting out, whether it's like a cleaning business to more established ones that are security services. And yeah, we've sort of everything in between that really as well. So it's quite a mix at the moment.
Right. And as a boutique agency, I guess you'd really have an emphasis on that personalized attention. How do you make sure that every project that you do really has that tailored treatment to it?
I'm really particular about clients having a personalized experience. It's really important to me because I mean, we listen to what other people say about digital agencies, and the feedback we frequently hear that keeps coming up time and time again is that it's often quite faceless. People have almost
Automated.
automated have over automated their processes, which is great for business efficiency. But then people feel like they can't just pick up the phone and speak to their person who's doing their website, and then the messages like gets lost in translation.
Mhm.
So we found that particularly local businesses, they like to know who they're working with. I meet them, especially if they're on the Gold Coast, we meet face to face. Obviously, if they're interstate, we have to do Zoom, but we're very much in touch with our clients. I like to respond really quickly to emails as well. And yeah, we're friendly people. We're not like a faceless organization, and we found that's worked really well for us so far.
Yeah, and like you said, it's a mix of email interaction and communications, but we do like to use things like Loom videos and video calls, or even just picking up the phone. Because, like I said, there's a lot of things that you just can't beat having some sort of personal connection in that way. Like it just speeds up the process and it builds those relationships as well. Every time you have that sort of contact with your clients. So.
Yeah, there always seems to be, and I hear this all the time, that the bigger corporations, people sense safety within the bigger groups, but what they actually find, the experience comes down to going through what they feel like is a gated process, where you start off with the really good sales marketing team, and then you get pushed onto the junior who builds your website, and then it feels like moving through gates, is what one person described to me. Whereas having somebody that you know and trust from the start to the finished is really where those smaller type agencies really excel. You might not feel like you've got the safety of it, but you're actually in better hands because you've got a person who's dedicated to providing you that really local service that people are looking for. So it's good to hear that that's the sort of style that you guys run.
Yeah, since having Alchemy Digital Co, I've really noticed how, like, as a business owner, you care so much about your clients. And now when I'm looking for other services out there, I try to go for local companies that are run by the business owner, because you know that no one cares more about you as a client than they do.
That's right. And you're not really not well, you're not even just getting a marketing partner, you're getting a business partner as well. Someone who, like you said, who cares as much about your business. So it is important to find that really trusted relationship. So,
Yeah,
but
and we're
let's
all
jump.
about developing long-term relationships as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Let's jump a little bit into your services then. So you guys offer web design, SEO, and Google Business Profiles is probably one that really stands out for you. How do those actually complement each other in that ecosystem that you're trying to build?
Yeah, so I mean, we see like the start of the journey is obviously you've got to have the right website in place. If you don't have one, or if you've got one that's out of date and no longer doing, what it needs to do, whether functionally in terms of speed and security, or whether it's even just in terms of messaging and branding, like does it represent your business anymore in the right way? So it all starts there. But then, of course, a website just on its own, you need to have people visiting the website. It needs to be discovered. And that's where the SEO comes in, and also Google Business Profile, especially because we are mostly dealing with businesses that are serving a local customer base. So Google Business Profile is a great way to sort of shortcut a little bit and kind of work on that and get in front of the right people, geographically.
Yeah, and all our websites are SEO optimized right from the start, so they're built on a really strong SEO foundation.
Yeah, I love that. I think there's a tagline on your website that says "Science meets storytelling." It's such a really striking phrase. How does that? And let's talk a little bit about your backgrounds then, because I know you mentioned it previously. But so you come from a photography background, Brendan?
Yeah, so I started off as a photographer,
Mhm.
moved in and had a video production business for 10 years, filming all across the world for some high-level clients, and really sort of learned my skills in storytelling and creating that emotional connection through video. I then took that into video marketing and sort of refined that further. I've always built websites for my previous business, so that's kind of where the web skills came from originally. But yeah, that's where the storytelling part of it comes from. And we apply that to websites in terms of like the copywriting, but also putting video and the photography on the websites as well, because those are key things. And so it's all part of getting to sort of communicate who you are and who your ideal clients are, and connecting you and humanizing your business as well, especially in a world with AI becoming like so prevalent. It's the more you can do to sort of humanize and personalize your business, the better you stand out and connect with people.
And Coral, you come from more of an analytical background then, don't you?
Yes, I always joke that I'm addicted to qualifications, so I just kept going back to university and doing science degrees. I'm just finishing my PhD at the moment, which is about microplastics in food, so very sort of analytical chemistry based, and then looking at all the data and doing analysis on that. And then I also teach statistics at university level as well. So yeah, I love all the data.
So that would tie in really well from that SEO perspective, and like you've got in your thing, the science meets storytelling. It's a really powerful blend to get. We always say with Amplify Web Design that you're trying to get your website to be read by both humans and robots, and I think you guys have a wonderful blend of the two of those. When you've seen some clients' websites that need a rebuild, what's one of the big things within that balance of science and storytelling that you've found has been a common issue for people?
Or where to even start with that question? Oh, so many examples come to mind. First of all, as you know, Luke, the main thing, as soon as someone sees the website, within a few seconds, they have to know what it is that you do.
Yep.
We've been talking to a legal firm recently, and they sent us some examples of websites they liked, and we were quite shocked because they're meant to be examples of legal companies, but you have absolutely no idea from the strange images they've got, from the text that doesn't even say what they do, the name, even their business name doesn't even give you a clue as to what they do. So although you might not think of that as storytelling as such, it's the first thing. It's like the cover of a book, isn't it? It's the first thing you see. And then does the title or does the book look like a book that I want to read further? Or does it look like it's not relevant? If it looks like it's not relevant, you're just going to put it to the side.
Yeah, so we see a lot of websites that they tend to skew in one extreme to the other. So you got some that have been done by like maybe like a graphic designer, and they look very pretty and they're very creative, but they're not great in terms of user experience and not great from a SEO perspective either. And then on the other end, you got these sort of hardcore SEO websites where They're pretty ugly, very functional, and it doesn't really appeal that much to the client. But it might do well in the eyes of Google in certain respects. But it's that blend of both that's what we're trying to bring to the table.
And it's certainly achievable as well. I don't see why you should have to compromise on one or the other.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You want a website that Google's going to like and rank, and one that is going to convert through that storytelling process. And what I think we find a lot of is that people will try and build a website or have a website for their business that reflects their business, and they don't realize that the intention is to try and reflect your client. The old joke is that people don't want to hear your opinion, they want to hear their opinion coming out of your mouth. And unfortunately, that translates a lot to websites where, a lot of people spend time talking about their business versus the ones that really we see convert well are the ones that tell the story of the client, and the client can see themselves within that website. So
yeah, I mean, it's again, like I'm a big fan of Donald Miller and building the story brand, and he always talks about how the client is the hero of the story, not the company. The company is the guide. So like he used an analogy of the client is Luke Skywalker, and you as the company, you're Yoda. You're the one that the wise guide that helps them get to where they want to get
Yeah,
to.
we were just talking about that yesterday.
So on that note, then, can you share a client success story that you've had, someone that you've worked with that you've turned their website around, and potentially some of the numbers around that? Obviously, if confidentiality, but who have you worked with that you've had a good win for?
I'm thinking two examples come to mind immediately. First of all, SV Built. So that's our luxury home builder in Adelaide. We did a site speed test on his website, and it came out as a D. And then we put it onto our hosting and maintenance package, which is we literally just took the website, plopped it straight onto ours, and didn't do anything else. But because it's a fancy agency hosting package with lots of little bells and whistles, it went immediately from a D rating up to A. So before we did anything else, which I don't know, it gave me so much more confidence in our hosting packages. So I feel and because website speed feeds into SEO, so of course that's going to be really important for helping. He's actually already got good SEO that he had done many years ago, but something like that would, if he stayed operating at a slow speed, he would start to go down the rankings. So if he's not going to add content to his website, it's really important that he pays attention to the technical aspects like site speed.
Yeah, and from a design perspective as well, the website was designed by an SEO company, and it was very functional, and it didn't really portray that his business is a luxury custom home builder. It just made him look like a generic, commodity type builder.
And the copy wasn't even very good. There was quite a few grammar issues, and he was exactly one of those people that he thought he knew he was getting the website from, but then they kind of just shipped it offshore, and then what he got back was a bit not really what he expected, and he never really liked it.
Yeah. That is always a challenge when people sign up for something and they have an aspiration in mind, and then when it comes back, it really wasn't the right fit, and the company didn't take the time to say, when we do it, we'll often build out the homepage and go back and say, is this what you're looking for, to make sure that we get the style right before we move on from that. So
yeah, exactly the same as us. We always do that check-in, and I always say, we don't stop until the client's happy. That's my number one goal, is for the client to just love their website.
Yeah, it's a big difference between being a number and being a client.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to tell you a story about a Google Business Profile win as well. We had one of my favorite client from BNI. I always say he's a pest control and carpet cleaning company. He tried to change his business name and category all in one go. So Google don't like that, so they suspended his profile. But it had over 60 5-star reviews on it that he's built up over the last 5 years. So of course people don't want to lose that. And he was just going to give up with it, because it looks really complicated to fix, and he really had no idea. But I had a look through. I thought it was the case that they probably just did an automatic shutdown on it, and if we put together an appeal, then they might lift it. And that's exactly what happened. I put together an appeal, got the information from the client, submitted to Google, and a couple of days later, his 65-star reviews are back up and running. So I'm now his favorite person.
That's a really good win there. I wondered too, then, what are some of the, I guess the hesitations that some of your clients might have had, maybe around like cost or the trust in agencies, especially when it comes to things like maintenance packages or ongoing SEO. I think a lot of people take the opinion that once they've built a website and it's out there, that they shouldn't have to pay anything more. How do you guys manage some of those issues?
Well, maybe tell him about Christine at Superior Recruitment. It's basically, the story is it's false economy not to maintain your website because...
Yeah, so we had a client come to us who people submit their resumes. She's a recruitment agency. And although the contact form itself is working, it's not delivering the emails all the time to her. So she's missing things and having to keep going into the back end of the website and things like that. So we looked in there and I mean, everything was massively out of date. All the plugins, the PHP, WordPress themes, everything was out of date. And so what we've been doing is going through updating that and doing the email authentication again for the SMTP to just to help improve that deliverability of those emails from the contact form. Again, her website hadn't been looked after, hadn't been maintained. I mean, it was a struggle for her to even know where it's hosted or who's got the keys to the website. It's just it's one of these things that it can be quite tricky. But now that we're starting to get a hold of that, that's putting her in a much better place.
Yeah, and I've heard stories where people have lost 6 months of leads through not realizing that their contact form had broken on their website. So while the leads were sort of banking up at the back end, they didn't know that and they just thought they weren't getting leads through their website. So imagine if you were just paying someone, I don't know, $100 a month to make sure your website is in top form. That would, one lead might pay for that for like the whole year, but this person had lost 6 months of leads. So actually would have been cheaper to get the website looked after properly in the first place.
Yeah. So if you only had 2 sentences to explain to someone the value of that ongoing maintenance or that SEO and why they should invest in it, you can divide this up between you if you like, or what would they be if you had to educate the broader community about that?
I would say it's first of all, this is your digital shop front. So, if you don't have that, if it's not visible for any reason, whether there's an issue with the website's gone down or a security issue, it's been hacked, malware or anything like that on there.
Slow.
Or just slow, it's just, people don't want to wait. So it's really something that you have to do it. Like you have to see a website as not a one-time static thing. It's a living, breathing thing that needs to be continuously maintained, just the same as your car. You have to keep on top of it, otherwise things start to break and it eventually breaks down. So you got to keep on top of maintenance, and also the website is something that needs to be continuously optimized and improved over time as well as your business evolves and changes as well.
That was more than 2 sentences.
Yeah, there's a lot more.
I'll allow it. Oh, very good. All right. So if I'm a business owner in the Gold Coast area or really anywhere across Australia and thinking, well, my website's just okay, or look, you might know that it sucks. What's your recommendation for the first simple move that they could do to progress themselves to having a really nice digital shop front, like you said?
So the best thing is to book in a free consultation with us. That's where it all begins. We have a chat, find out a little bit about what the situation is, where you want to be, where you want to get to, and we can help work out what's the best path to get to that point. So the best way to do that is to go to our website, which is alchemydigitalco.com.au, and you can either fill in a contact form there, or you can just give us a phone call as well. But either way, that's where it all starts, booking a free consultation.
Awesome. And if someone is considering a partnership with Alchemy Digital, what do you want them to remember most about your approach and your values?
I think just the genuineness, like we care about our clients and have a really high quality of service. So we only want to work with people who have similar values to us. It's not just about getting like money through the door and getting more and more clients. Like it's definitely quality over quantity for us.
Brilliant. All right. Well, thank you very much, Coral and Brendan, for showing us how Alchemy Digital Co brings the artistry and the analytics and a genuine partnership into every project with their local business owners. If you are a Gold Coast business wanting a website that works as hard as you do, head to localwebexpert.com.au and you can check out their profile, or you can go, as Brendan said, directly to alchemydigitalco.com.au to book a free discovery session with them to get your journey started to a better website and a better storefront. Until next time, thank you very much, and we'll see you around. Bye.
Thanks, Luke. Bye.
Thanks.
See ya.